Good morning and welcome to the Courage Coalition. Today's topic is going to be a little bit of fire. So, I have this desire to really ask yourself some tough questions, okay? I'm a numbers girl. Most of you listening know that. I help business owners in their numbers every single day of my workday. And there's a common denominator here is that we only look at the numbers. We're constantly asking ourselves, why isn't there growth? Why isn't there this? Why do I not have loyal employees? This is like a number one pain point: turnover, retention. Are you feeling me? Is this part of your business? Maybe it's not. Maybe you're still in the beginning stages, but I'm going to ask you some really interesting questions today from a business perspective, but also from a change perspective, a service perspective, a value-based driven business. Because here's something that every person knows, or at least if you don't, you can find the research, is that the number one basic human need is connection. Connection. We need it as infants, we need it as children, we need it as teens, we need it as adults. We need it when we buy something. We want to not only connect with the product, but connect and trust the person who's selling the product. And you guys, let's stop putting meaning behind the word sell. We're all selling something. We're either selling our services as a doctor, as an attorney. We are even selling something as a teacher. And you're gonna be like, wait, what a second. You are selling to the children the desire, the want to do well on a test, show up to class and be, sit in your desk, listen, be a part of that community in that classroom. Every single human in the world is selling something. As a mother, I am selling something to my children every single day, whether you want to believe it or not. And we show up in this way that is so vulnerable and so real because we're connected. We're connected to our kids, or we're connected to our students. But when we have businesses, we tend to remove that part of it. It's all about bottom line. It's all about sales. It's all about the return on my investment. It's all about something that is not connecting with your consumer. And so what I'm going to ask you today is have you removed the why behind the connection? I was working with a client recently, and she's a new business owner, but she's an expert in her field from a W-2 perspective. And one of the things that kept coming up, whether she believed it or not, is that she kept making excuses for why she was selling something. Well, you don't understand. People just don't like direct sales. No, I actually do understand. I'm one of those people. I do understand that the history of marketing and direct sales marketing has a horrible history. There are so many reasons why you don't trust. But it is our job to make the connection, to build the trust, which then builds the loyalty. And I looked at her and I said, it is not about working around the direct sales part of it. It is hitting it head on. You're saying, you're definitely right. I am a direct sales marketing representative. I believe in this product, and here is why. Take out the history. Here is why. As a healthcare expert, I understand that the product is actually going to change everything about other healthcare practitioners. It is going to give you a hand up because it brings something in that as our culture and society and healthcare has never had. I feel already more passionate than I was hearing. But it's because I was listening to the words that she was saying outside of the but. I'm going off on a tangent, and that's okay because it's explaining something. We're explaining the fact that connection has to come back into our businesses. And when it does, everything changes. Value-based, service-based businesses, from a statistics point, show the connection. 52% of businesses that have service volunteer programs within their organization, 52% have less turnover than those that don't, have more loyalty, more retention than those that don't. 96% of employers, business owners that have service or value-based or volunteer opportunities in their business say, from the employer perspective, they have more engagement than they did beforehand. More engagement from the same employees that are either your frontline, selling your product, or doing the job. Think about those people you're sending out to actually do the job. You want them engaged. You want them to do not just a task, but you want them to engage with the customer, because that's where we get the trust and the connection, and that's what builds a loyal customer. And so we have gotten so far away from what it means to be a small business. And I say small business, and this is not just about small businesses, but I want to address small businesses because, one, that's the majority of my clients, but two, I want you to think about yesteryear and what it meant to be a small business and what those business owners did and why their customers kept coming back. It all had to do with connection, relationships, the number one basic human need. When we learn or when we build trust within our community, no matter what your price, no matter what your statistics, no matter what your bottom, your gross versus your net, people come back because they trust you, because they believe in you, because of that connection. 91%, I want you guys to think about these numbers. 91% of employees say workplace volunteering/service makes them feel more connected to not only their employer, but the business itself. This comes back to retention. When employees want to show up, when they believe in what their employer is selling and or giving to the community, they want to come back. They want to show up. They want to share the message, right? Last statistic, 71% of employees say it is important for them to work for an organization that gives back in some way. 71%. You guys, these statistics are unheard of, but they're truth. Because again, as an employee, all they're looking for is to be connected to an organization that resonates with their core values. We want to do good. We want to help out. We want to give back as humans. But we've taken it out of the workplace and then ask ourselves why the numbers don't reflect the effort. Why don't the numbers reflect the amount of grip and expectations I have in this business of my employees, of myself, of the customer sales, all of it? Because there's no connection. So, the reason I bring this up is because there are thousands, hundreds of thousands of services, of volunteer opportunities in your community where you're at. Yes, I have a nonprofit. Fostering the Summit is a nonprofit that I believe so deep in my heart about the change that we can instigate in foster care that it was worth it to me to start something new, to be the one, to be the first one, the second one, the third one, to share the message no matter how unclear the future looked. And I'm going to tell you something else. Out of all the clients in my practice, in my accounting practice, there's one common denominator. They feel connected to me, not only as their bookkeeper and their financial team, but as a human. And I guarantee you, every single one of them sees the reflection of what I'm giving back or working at giving back to the world and wants to be a part of that. Now, they may not even give, as in donate or time, but they want to be a part of the business that is doing it. Connection, change, service. So I want to ask you, like, what is in your heart? What service-based institution, what volunteer organization could you be a part of that really resonates with you? Is it battered women? Is it veterans? Is it sex trafficking? Is it multiple sclerosis? Is it childhood cancer? Is it cancer as a whole? Is it students that are in your field? There are thousands of ways to bring something that resonates with you back into your company, which allows your employees to see something different. It's not just about the dollar. It's not just about the bottom line. This is about building community. A business is and should be about building a community, and not just in the four walls of your business. So I ask you, what could you do to change that? Because the truth is that numbers are only as powerful as the values behind the business, behind the humans. Let's say that again. The numbers are only as powerful as the values behind the business, behind the humans. So you can say anything you want. You can create the most powerful mission statement in the world. But unless the reflection of what your action is, remember, because love does, it is an action, reflects what you say, then people don't trust. They don't connect, and they don't support. So as we wrap up this 2025 and this year of 2026, and we come into it, there's going to be all these business choices that you have to make or that you need to make. You're going to look at your cash flow statements. You're going to look at your profit and loss. You're going to look at your balance sheets. You're going to look at all of the things, the tools, the numbers. But if you don't ask yourself, does it align with the story, the legacy in which I want to leave the world? Then does it make any impact? Does it make any sense? Numbers are just numbers. It's what they reflect, what they're telling. They're a story. The evidence is a story. And you have to ask yourself, is the story I'm telling truly the story I want to be remembered by and or reflect into that community? And we can give money, and money's powerful, but only as powerful as the meaning behind it, the value behind it, the reflection behind it. So maybe you're going to continue to donate to the American Breast Cancer Society, the American Cancer Society. Maybe you're going to do all of those things. But I'm going to ask you, what about what your actions say? What if you, as an organization, as a business, gathered together and said, what's something that we want to leave as a business? What is something we want to represent? And one day a month, 1 2-hour period a month, you volunteered as an organization. You actually in place, service-based. Maybe it's the food bank. Or maybe you allow your employees 2 hours a week paid to work for or volunteer for a service-based organization that is giving back. You know, it's such a simple thing. We think, life is hard. I will give you that. Life is hard. There's ups and downs, there's ins and outs, there's things that just don't make sense. But the reality is it's really simple. It's really simple when we come back to basic human needs, when we come back to the connection, to the trust, to the truth, to the worth, to truly changing what you're sitting back and bitching about. To truly take that next step and ask, how can I make a difference? Because we can all do something. There's absolutely, without a doubt, every person in the world can do something. Now, your something's going to be different than my something, and it's probably going to be for a different reason. But we can all do something. So if you want to see a difference in your bottom line, in the connection with your community, in the connection with your employees, I ask you, how are you going to do that? Are you going to continue to hold the stake in your hand, or are you going to slam that thing into the ground and actually step forth? Because your stake, your desire, your dream is important, but so is the connection with the business, the connection with the community, the connection with the employees. You have to do something different in order to see something different. And I truly believe, without a doubt, with evidence, that when we bring service, volunteerism, love, connection into our businesses, everything changes. Are you willing to do the work? Are you willing to show a different model, a different way? Because if you are, I challenge you to take that stake and throw it in, put it hard in the ground and say, this is how it's going to be. 2026 is going to be a different reflection of what I thought what was always was. It's going to be a new way. I hope that something I said today resonated with you just a little bit. Maybe it gave you some curiosity. Remember, the most important thing you can do is, when something resonates with you, is to share it. So follow the podcast, download it, share it, and remember, love ya, mean it.